Hi, everybody. This is Courtney from Trekell Art Supplies, and we have Hannah, aka the Obanoth. So I thought it would be really fun to talk to her and learn more about her process and the tools that she uses in it. So,
Hmm.
hi, Hannah. Thanks for being here with us.
Yeah, anytime.
So, your paintings have this really, really awesome balance between geometry and organic life. How do you maintain that precision while keeping the work alive?
I don't really spend any time working with realism, but I still consider myself to be a representational painter. So my work is sort of about finding the balance between making things recognizable enough as their subject, but also kind of maintaining a unique stylistic approach. So for me, I think that like trying to find that tension point between representation and abstraction is what is interesting to me in the work that I produce. So yeah, I mean that's just that's always been my intention with my work and kind of my angle with the way that I consider creating.
So, what tools do you use to help you maintain those crisp lines and edges?
For me, brushes are obviously important and surfaces are important. So I choose not to work on canvas. I always work on wood and I prepare it by priming it clear and sanding it. Sometimes I'll do that a couple different times. So even with a really smooth, nice panel, I still try to seal it so that it's not too absorbent because if paint absorbs into the wood too much, it creates drag. I only use flat brushes with like kind of hard angular edges so that I can make really sharp paint stroke marks. My surfaces need to be super perfectly flat and smooth, and how much moisture is in my paint also comes into play.
And you talked about, using flat brushes. Is there specific Trekell brushes that you like to use for your painting?
Yeah, I have used the Taklon, the golden Taklon brushes from Trekell for years and years and years. I actually think that that's how we met is because I was just using those brushes for so long. So yeah, I think that they're super sturdy. I mean, I always say that with the type of work that I do, if I was using a brush that wasn't holding its shape, it would be obvious, in the type of work that I produce and in my style. So for me, like brushes that keep their shape, especially with like longer hairs. So I'm not using the brights, the short hair. I'm using the flats with the longer, um, and those can warp and kind of go bad fast if they're kind of lower quality brushes. So yeah, I mean, I've used the Taklon forever because I find them pretty indestructible, which is saying a lot for somebody that needs them to be very perfect all the time.
I assume that you've used other brush brands in the past, and what could you tell the viewers that are watching right now? What kind of sets Trekell's Golden Taklon brushes apart than from the other brands that are out there that also produce a Golden Taklon brush?
I'm going to give kind of a naughty answer that you don't like, which is I keep my paintbrushes in water 100% of the time. I clean the paint water and I put fresh water, but I leave them soaking all the time. I never clean and dry my acrylic brushes ever. For me, sturdiness is really critical, and really cheap brushes tend to have the problem where the glue and the ferrule comes loose or bristles fall out or the shape gets bent and messed up or something. So I think the reason why I, over years before we met and started working together, why I always had Trekell brushes is just because I know that I can treat them the way that I am going to mistreat them, and that even under those circumstances, they're gonna keep their shape and be solid. And so, yeah, I mean that's for a lazy studio behavior person, they're great, which which makes a huge difference for me.
What advice would you give to an artist that's just beginning to purchase supplies to start their, new venture into the art world, and maybe they're a little bit scared to put the money out to buy a nicer brush or a nicer canvas because they don't think that they've earned that, that right yet. Like, hey, I'm a beginner, I should use a beginner brush. What would your advice to them be in that aspect?
Yeah, I don't think that it is terrible to have a a collection that is broad when you're starting out, because I think that one of the things about being a new artist, or you might want to let yourself experiment with shape. So like some people really prefer the filbert brushes with the rounded top. Some people like the long flat bristles like me. So I don't think that it is a bad thing, first of all, to go cheap to figure out what generally your mark making style is. But as you develop, as you go, it's a good idea to be replacing your not good pieces with pieces that you'll use differently, take care of better, and sort of move into. So I also think that for surfaces, you need to be careful to not use surfaces that are so bad that your work will suffer for it. Um, on one, I mean that in two ways. One of those ways is that I think that a really, really terrible, cheap, crappy surface is going to literally fall apart on you. A lot of poor surfaces warp or they absorb water or have like cardboard, like paper filler and stuff in them, and they're just not designed to last. So that is one of the things that you need to be aware of. But again, there's a range. You don't like you can do better than the worst, but not be buying the absolute maximum perfect materials. Um, One of the in-betweens that I still use all the time are the Trekell, those little flat birch panels, because they come in a pack, so you get a bunch of them in a bunch of different sizes. They last forever. They to me are have a very comparable surface to the professional grade ones, but they're thin, flat, stackable, and because those are inexpensive, I even today in my practice don't feel bad like burning a few, like I'll try some stuff out and if it doesn't work, or you can paint back over them. I mean, they're made of wood.
So I know that you have a couple studio mates in there with you. Do they ever critique your artwork, and can we get a look at them?
I do have studio mates actually. Their names are Safi and Paget. They are rabbits and they are very involved in the work that I do. So they're, they have a lot to say. They have a lot of opinions. Yeah, they like to hang out here in my studio with me and watch me make stuff and make noise when I'm trying to have Zoom calls and all all kinds of stuff. But yeah, they're part of the Trekell family here too. So, Trekell is a small company, and I think that that's one of the things that works really well for me based on what it is that I want out of a partnership, which is an actual interactive, supportive, kind of space where people seem genuinely interested in helping each other out. And I feel like Trekell is small enough to be nimble, to make changes and to add products and to take feedback seriously. So, hey, we really wish that there was this type of solution for a creative problem. I feel like you guys are able to hear that and then adjust or adapt or offer things that people need. So I mean, yeah, working with Trekell sort of came up naturally, I think, just from using the products, and then I stay with it definitely because it's just kind of like hanging out with artist people that care about other artist people. So yeah, I mean, I feel very strongly about the brand and the company. I think that it's a cool kind of grassroots cohort of creatives and stuff. So I don't know, it feels good. And so that's why I've stuck around for so long.
Thank you. Okay, that was a good answer. Well, thank you so much for all of your insights today. I think that this has been awesome to hear from a professional working artist what tools they're using, what practices, things that they've learned the hard way, and that you can let everybody else know, not to do. So we thank you for your time. And if anybody wants to learn more about you, where can they find all that information at?
Yes, I have the same username on every platform. It is my website, it is my email address, and that is the Obanoth, the Obanoth, Obanoth. But just go back to the Acrylic Live website and you'll see it if you can't remember how to spell it.
Yes. And everybody can visit the Trekell website and view all of our pro team artists that we sponsor and their profiles to learn more about them. And you will find Hannah's profile there as well. So
Mhm.
thank you again, Hannah, and we look forward to working with you in the future.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Bye.